Movement assessments are so important for finding out tiny little things in the body that could be affecting the way your scoliosis or your spine are recovering from injury. So I'm going to share with you a movement assessment I've done on myself, 11 months apart, and how things have actually changed for the better. And if you want a movement assessment like this, then click the link below this video or somewhere on this page, and we'll get the information to you on how you can get that assessment. All right, so let's bring up the movement assessment here, and you can see me side by side. Okay, so the one on the right was in January, so 11 months ago, and the one on the left was just the other day. So let's start by looking at this general posture, and I'm going to annotate this as well. So you can see on the one on the right, my feet are both pointing out just a little bit. Okay, so we've got this foot pointing out position. We've got some level problems in the shoulder. The knees are pretty good. The hips are pretty good. But generally, we've got this lean, and you can see this over to the right-hand side. So if I put a plumb line going from my nose here down, it's not coming down in between my legs. If we look at this one on the left more recently, let's see how we're doing. Yeah, a lot better. Both feet pointing pretty much forward. Shoulders now, yeah, more level. Also, what we see on the right side is if we take these marks of the body, so we've got the ankles, then we follow that up to the knees, and then we actually have the hips and the hip bone, where the actual hip bone joins the pelvis. It's a little bit more central than the actual bit on the outside. And if we go halfway down on the collarbone, we have a little point just around there. All right, so those markers, if we were to join them all up, we actually want them being in a straight line, but you can see they're not. They're out to the side. So I actually have what we call a pyramid type posture. Now let's have a look on this side here. So we take that marker halfway down the collarbone, take a marker in the middle of the hip, take a marker here on the knee and then the ankle there. All right, are things a little bit more aligned? Okay, let's have a look. How are we doing? A little bit better. Not quite 100% yet. Actually better on this side than the other side, but way more stacked. And if we take the line across the chest here, that's good. Across the shoulders. So this is how it should be. This is what I'm looking for when I assess people. I'm looking for this grid pattern to see, are the shoulders, hips, knees, and ankles in a line? On the one a little while ago, I've exaggerated that one slightly, but we were good through here, good here, good here, but not good in those shoulders. Plus, we had this curve in the body, and now nice and straight. So this is good. We're getting somewhere. All right. Now let's have a look at how we're moving here. Okay, the next thing we want to do is just look at this from the side. So I'm going to get myself to turn to the side. Good. And I'm going to unlink these for a second just so I can get the head up on that side. There we go. All right. Good. Now we're going to have a look at the standing posture. So with standing posture, again, I'm looking at these landmarks of the hips, knees, shoulders, and then just that occipital area just behind the ear there as well. Now, are they lining up? So if we take a plumb line here, 90 degrees, no. The majority of my body is in front of that plumb line, putting a lot of pressure right up onto those feet in the front here, because we do have a tendency to develop bunions, claps down in the feet and so on, and that comes from this forward posture here. We could actually even call that like a sway back. Okay, so my hips are forward. All right, let's have a look on the left-hand side and see how we're doing here. So we're going to go to the feet, knees, hips, shoulders, and behind the ear. All right, so better, not 100% yet though, but better. So you can see that more of my body has been moved backwards. Okay, so this one, none of my butt is back. Now we're starting to get the butt back. This is a slow process. What I'm doing here is I'm using lots of exercises to get me into my what we call back chain, to start developing this arch. And you can see this arch here on that side versus this arch here. You can see the lumbar arch is beginning to come back. My hips are coming back. My head is coming back. It's a slow process, but we are getting there. Everything is moving in the right direction. Okay, so I'm going to have a look at from behind it. We'll probably see something quite similar. Let's get this one from the heart behind now. Good. All right, so just going to scrub forwards and backwards, make sure that we're actually in a nice position there. Good. All right, what I notice here straight away is the tension in those lower back muscles. Okay, here there's less tension in those lower back muscles. So you can see that I'm just going to take off the red. You can see that the lower back on the right hand side was working really hard just down here. You can also notice that that left ankle is collapsing in and the right ankle is out. And this one now, look at that left ankle. Not a collapse in. It's not the best quality on the one on the right, but not collapsing in like it once was. Interestingly, I've got a little bit more of that pyramid pose happening here. So that needs a touch more work because that's kind of similar on both sides. But generally looking slightly better from before to after. When we look at the other side, the actual posture is even better. So you can see here that the line is going exactly into the occipital area here, top of the shoulder, into the hips, middle of the knees, and the ankles. And lots of the body is actually behind that midline. On this one, you can still see how the hips are forward. The head is definitely forward here compared to the other side. So doing a lot better with just that general posture, standing upright. So now we're going to have a look at some movements. We're going to get me into a squat position and just see how that has changed over the last 11 months. Okay, so we're looking at me from the front, about to do a little squat. Again, just notice what happens with the feet on this right side here. Okay, let's have a look at the feet here before, well, actually not before, but as we go through this squat motion. Watch this. Pitter patter, both feet come wide and turn outwards. Now look on this left-hand side, on this other side. What happens to the feet before I squat? Little bit of movement still, but that's it. Compare the two. The one on the right, I'm preparing myself. My body knows it's got to go wide here. It's going to use these muscles here. It's going to try and bring as much width to the knees as possible so that it can actually drop down. And that's exactly what happens. Those knees go nice and wide, but look at what's happening in that poor left ankle in particular. Left ankle and right ankle collapsing down and in. And do I look comfortable at the bottom? Not particularly, but look at this on the left-hand side. Okay, we're going to go to this side now. Ankle actually goes up and out, up and out. Knees go wide, which is great. Hips slide down, and look at that, just hanging out, no problems. So that squat change for me is huge. I always thought I could squat, you know, I could get down deep, but to be comfortable in that and be resting is a very different feeling. So let's have a look at it from the side now. And what I'm looking for is, how does the squat look? Do my hips move backwards? Are my knees moving forwards? Is it a knee dominant squat? Is it a butt dominant squat? Am I using the back chain? Am I using the front? Am I using the front chain? So let's go backwards and forwards a little bit here on this right one and just have a look. Okay, so there's this pitter patter again, feet turn outwards. The feet are really working hard here to stay on the ground. And my hips do go first, but really the knees come in here and I end up in that bottom position. A lot of length in the back, a little bit of strain in the neck as well, but feet pointing outwards, not particularly happy. All right, let's go over to the right side now. So the feet's, yeah, not too bad. Still a little toe lift here, but that's maybe just because the hips are shifting backwards. And look at the difference here between, if I draw a line between the butt on this side and the knees, and the butt on this side and the knees. What we want to happen when we're squatting is we want it to be a butt dominant exercise, meaning that we want the hips to go backwards first. So look at the one on the left. Hips, 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 hips. Okay, so all this has been hips. And this one on the right, my knees have already gone past that line. The knees shoot forward, hips go backwards a little bit. On the left, hips go back, hips go back. Then eventually the knees are going to kick in for sure. But the butt goes down. Now, in this position, I feel a lot more comfortable in this position. But look at this nice arch at the back. And this one, the butt's tucked underneath. This is really rounded through here, a lot of strain in my back. And this one is a lot more restful position for me to be in. All right, let's have a little look through and see if we go, what happens when we go to the back here. Okay, just going to link those up. And let's scrub backwards and forwards a little bit. We know that we've got the ankle collapsing on this side. We know we've got the feet turned outwards. This side, the ankles are high, the feet are pointing relatively straight. Let's have a look here. So what I'm interested in, what's happening in my back, because that's one of the main reasons I've been working on this, is to really try and take pressure off my back. Do you see here, you've got on the right-hand side, you've got these little muscles called the paraspinals really working hard, and then the spine actually poking through. Okay, so we've got that happening here. Now look on this side. Those paraspinals, or what we call the primal tunnels, are actually developing quite nicely and really sort of supporting the spine compared to this side, or the left side, the right side, sorry. No support through here at all. No primal tunnels, no muscles. This one, lots of muscles, looking a lot better than it once was. As we go down, sure, the hips are going to come up underneath, and we're going to have some flexion in the lower back. But even that, the spine, the way my spine is coming out here is way less than this side. And you can see there's that little scoliosis coming through like this. And in this one, that scoliosis, to me, looks a little bit milder. Let's drop a plumb line down and actually see whether or not that is less. So we're going to go from the middle of my head here, 90 degrees. Actually, it's not too bad. Middle of my head here. That's not quite middle. Yeah. So not too worried about that. They're both looking pretty good, apart from the feet. Look at the feet on that one. How could I have done it like that? Absolutely terrible. Okay, so the bottom of squat is, for my money, changed a lot, with way less pressure on the spine. And then we've seen it from the side before. All right, let's have a look at bending forward. So it's called a forward fold. I want to see what's happening in the back and the hips on the forward fold. Okay, we've got the forward fold here. And what I find interesting is this one on the right side here. I was actually 1 month away from running a 50K ultra. So up and down volcanoes. So I was actually really, really fit on the right-hand side. And the one on the left, I look like I've actually lost some weight around the middle here and look a little bit more toned, even though I haven't been running. So this one on the right here was the fitter side. Okay, so we're getting ready to bend forward. Again, my feet are both pointing outwards here, and on this one, nice and straight. As we bend forward, we're expecting to see some good hip hinge movement. Okay, so both hip, yeah, the hinges are moving both quite nicely. But you can see on the one on the right, I've already started using the back. So the back has already come into play here. Then as we go down, end up in roughly a similar position, but knuckles not on the ground here, knuckles nicely on the ground here. And what I find fascinating is what's going on in the back. So you can see how much pressure is being put onto the flexion in here. And then we've got no muscles on either side of the spine, here, here, and here. And then even a slight kind of rotation scoliosis in the upper back. All right, going over to the one on the left, yes, we can still see the spine here, but way less than that one on the right. So compare those two. Then we do have that slight little rotation through there, but nothing as much. And then we've also got more muscle buildup on either side. This has all come from doing special exercises that help move my hips backwards, called primal movement. And that's what we've been doing to get these deeper squats. All right, let's have a look at this from the side, which actually can tell us a lot of information about how the hips are moving. Okay, some old habits die hard. That toe is still up on both sides. And no wonder I wear through my socks. Okay, so what we're looking for here is some really good hip movement going backwards. So we're looking for the hips to move backwards. We're looking for the spine to be nice and long through this motion. And we're looking to see if we can get the hands down to the ground. That's what we're looking for. Let's see what we get. All right, so I'm looking at the one on the right now. I'm actually going to draw a line here. So I've got a line on the butt. How much does that butt go backwards? Look at the difference between the two. So we're halfway through that particular move. And on the one on the right, the back is hugely involved. One on the left, back's not really that involved yet. Hips have gone backwards. Look at the line of gravity change from where my hips are to my feet. Huge differences. So this is a really good improvement on the way I load my back, or decompress my back, I should say. And there it is, look. Comes all the way down. So look at the one on the right. Knuckles go down, fair enough. Back, this part of the back here is under a lot of stress. And then the one on the left, the later one, nice and long through the spine. Looking good with that hips going backwards. So big changes on the forward fold there. From the back, we're beginning to see some familiar patterns now. There's actually a shift in the hips on this one to the left. So if I just scrub backwards and forwards, you can see the hips just move, boom, there. Now, as I go forwards, so we're roughly in the same area now, but look at the spine here. That is popping out, a lot of pressure into that area. This area, no pressure on the spine. Doesn't look like there's any stress going on in here at all. Now, these types of movement patterns, which I was doing for a long, long time, these things are what leads to the back being overused. And I do suffer, or have suffered in the past, from back pain. And that's actually why I'm an osteopath. This is a huge improvement. The pressure is taken off the back. So let's keep having a look here and see what happens. Yeah, you can just really see the increased flexibility with how far my head has come down relative to my chin. You can see the difference there. So just got more flexibility, way less pressure on the back. Still need to work a little bit on the left side here on that rib hump. There's always work to do, but it's interesting to see that difference. Now, just going to have a look at that left foot collapsing down in, and this left foot here holding up nice and high. So I'm really happy with the way those movements have changed. And we can see here just getting that arms down, really nice long length through here. Whereas that one on the right, we're just stopping on the knuckles and just getting more tightness into the upper back. All right, so there you have it. That is 11 months of training to pull the hips backwards, but undoing almost 50 years of probably 40 movement patterns, or patterns that have not set me up for success, with a history of injuries and illness and back problems and scoliosis, all that kind of stuff. You can see it all coming out in that movement assessment. Now, if you want a movement assessment like that, then just click that link below or somewhere on this page, put your name down, and we will get you assessed. And we will break things down just like this. And hopefully, if you do some exercises, we can bring you back and we can do a before and after movement assessment, just like the one you saw here.